Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Can somebody say, Ekadashi Devi, can you hear me clearly?
Dandavats Maharaj, yes, very good. Everything is okay.
Okay, just keep speaking. We are trying to hear also. Say Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Can you say it louder so Krishna can hear?
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
It's going from here.
Okay, we are working on being able to hear you better. You can't select the audio output as the TV. Priyananda Devidasi, I've sent you messages. Okay, we can see ourselves. This is the Latvia Zoom. And here we are with the devotees in Latvia. We are at the present time 15 minutes drive from Russia. So we're almost in Russia. Getting back eastern time.
Maharaj.
Can you say something right now?
Govinda, 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 Govinda. Maybe our internet is not very good.
We can hear you, Maharaj.
Yeah, the internet down here.
Oh, yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's good.
So as we're working on technical issues here, we'll begin by our mini Vandana. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitam Shah Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmritam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Mahagaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namaya Gaura Vishaya Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. So very happy to see so many devotees. We are the Latvia Zoom with most or many of the Latvian devotees with us. So we are zooming this week from Latvia rather than myself, usually to Latvia. Our translator is?
Priyananda.
Oh, Priyananda is doing simultaneous translation. All right. Into Russian. And Kirtida, very happy to see you with us. Also, we're just nearby. We're just close to Norway here. Hare Krishna. Well, I think my geography is not so good. And Maria is with us. And Suresh Krishna. Oh, that's us. Oh, we are Suresh Krishna. All right. And Rasananda Prabhu in Moscow with his cat. And our Nadia Priya Devidasi. In Germany, she's back in Germany, I think. We are common nach Deutschland. And Udaran Prabhu, he's here too. Srila Madhusudan, he's here. Leela Moy in Brazil. and Ishwarananda Prabhu in throngs, and Tungarasa, I can't see her name, but I can see the Tulasi of Navani. And she's sending her obeisance. So devotees, we are here in Latvia, but it feels just the same as being anywhere where there are devotees. It is a devotee association, which is the important part, not the geography of where we may be. And geographically, the whole world is beautiful, where man does not make a mess with all the concrete and steel and all those things like that. But everywhere is beautiful. And when we've got lots of rain, when we've got lots of greenery, then we can think that some good activity has taken place in the past. And it's listed that where there is desert, where there is so much suffering, no water, then that's as a result of some impiousness in the past, which was a shock to, no, not a shock to me, but a surprise. But actually, I liked the desert in my previous traveling times. The Sahara Desert was actually a very happy place. And the Great Sand Desert, Great Salt Desert, for those of you who know your deserts. But it's told that it's a result of impiety. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself says that rains come as a result of sacrifice. So we must appreciate that rains do fall and appreciate all our forefathers. If somebody did something good, the planet Earth is continuing steadily with rainfall, even though they get a surprise every now and again. I remember flying across Europe. Was it 2 years ago, maybe? And everywhere was scorched. By flying across, there was basically no greenery. Everything was brown. And then it crosses your mind, what happens if really it doesn't rain? Then the whole of mankind, the whole of Europe, people will be desperate for water. But the rain comes, and then again, everyone thinking, it's automatic. Ignoring what Krishna says in Gita, actually rains come from sacrifice. But I expect, especially among the farmers, there were prayers for rain. When their crops were just withering away, they're losing so much money. Anyhow, just a little reflection, because we've been traveling and seeing the very green and beautiful countryside of Latvia, and consider about how nature works perfectly. But man himself, by his independence and having much freedom compared with the animals, then he comes to exploit over and above what is his due. The animals eat what they can eat and leave the rest, except a few squirrels. But not man. Man decides to hoard more and more and more, and then try to capitalize on that by selling it when other people are in shortages, etc. And hence we get exploitation of the environment. Using our free will, which is more than the animals have, more than that, using our free will to extort from others, to master it over others. But the Vedas all tell us we should use our free will so that we can learn that to give is the proper use of our energy. So by giving we will get, not by stealing, by exploiting from nature. And by giving to the Lord, then we find we get ourselves into the proper position of our soul, where we are in harmony with the bigger environment, not the birth, death, old age, and disease plane, but the plane of eternal joy and happiness. So when we see that everything is the Lord's, everything belongs to Him, including me, then we want to come and just naturally give. In the beginning, maybe a little forced. We need to tell ourselves, no, don't do this. Instead, use it for the Lord. But hopefully with the association of the devotees who are utilizing things for the Lord's service, we'll also automatically start to see that not everything is the Lord's and for Him. So we're here in Latvia at the moment with the devotees, like-minded devotees, chanting Hare Krishna, offering everything to the Lord, and trying to remind ourselves of the secret message, the hidden treasure of the Bhagavad Gita, but the hidden treasure of the Vedas. And that has been presented by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, all of the Goswamis. And then come down to our present day by the grace of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, then Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, then Srila Guru Maharaj, and to Srila Prabhupada and to Srila Guru. And so here we are under Srila Gurudev's gracious glance that he's given us this opportunity. For so many years, for the Western world, basically 30 years you can say, for us 28 years, from 1982 when we came to Chaitanya Saraswati Math until Gurudev's disappearance in 2010. For many years he's been with us to show us just the natural life of dedication. And he's left countless hours of personal darshan, and in the form of books. That book revealed truth. It is published, quite a thick book by Gurudev. Today I was thinking, how many talks are contained in this book? How many hours of Gurudev's talking one-on-one with the devotees? Even if there are 20 devotees in the room, he's talking one-on-one. He's not giving a generic talk. He's always talking directly to the hearts of the devotees. And so we've got this opportunity, and we've got this current of the heart of devotional life. And without devotion, our chanting, meditation, our yoga, our everything, without devotion, it's only at best good karma. But at worst, it's just kind of going into a routine of life without really thinking what we're doing, much the same as many people have a routine of life, which is generally good. But we want not only good, better and better. And so happily we are here to be reminded of that with each other, both in person, and we've got lots more next door. You can maybe hear them all bonding and chatting and getting to know each other, because they come from different places to be with the Latvian devotees. But also here with us. And this week, we're in Latvia on the Latvian Zoom with a giant screen. To you, it looks the same. To us, you look all very big. Big devotees. We're on a giant screen in the home of Raja Krishna Prabhu and Indu Mata here in Daugavpils in Latvia. Hare Krishna. Didi, the sound is all good? Don't fight me. Okay, please. The sound is good. Zoom does very well to pick up on. The sound is good? Can somebody say? Good, okay. Oh, Indu already joined us. She's the first to respond with a thumbs up that the sound is good. Hare Krishna. So, here we've got Mohanananda Prabhu, who's made this little tour, like a surprise tour. To me, it was a surprise. I was only told I was coming here a short while before. We came a week before. Before that, I hadn't got a clue. And now here we actually have a very beautiful gathering of devotees. And by Suresh Krishna's advertising and his activities with the devotees, then some good souls have come, and some of whom have not had contact with devotees for many years, and now they're coming back, wanting to get rejuvenated in devotional life. And there is always urgency. If we slip away, we should try to come back as soon as we kind of come back to our senses. Yes, this Krishna consciousness is very valuable. So we've been meeting such devotees in this last couple of days. And we've been meeting the devotees who haven't slipped away and who are steadily going on in their devotional life, going on through the journey of life. And we're always on a journey of life. When we leave our body, we're still on a journey of life. And we know it. That's why we are here. We're always alive. One of the early teachings of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. You're always alive. You were alive. You will be alive. You are alive. So we're on a journey. And we need to just make sure we're going in the right direction. So, going to pass the microphone, as we say, to Mohanananda Prabhu, who's actually come all the way from Australia, because he promised devotees he's met in India and in Thailand, in different places, the devotees of Latvia. He promised them, I'll come and see you one day. And Mohan, he said, I want to keep my promise, and all the way through COVID cannot come, but now can come. And he said, I don't know how long we'll live. I'm now 95 years old. I don't know how long I'm going to live. So I want to keep my promises before I come. He's not 95.
Madhusudan Maharaj. Jai to our Guru Varga. Привет.
Come a little close. Yeah, sit here.
No, I can't sit there, but no. I can sit next to you, but I can't sit.
Okay.
Like, just cultural things, cultural observation. Привет again. Dandavat, greetings. Nice to be with all of you. Very happy to be here with all the devotees and especially my beloved friend, Madhusudan Maharaj, as you know him. For me, always will be Mohanananda Prabhu.
And for me also, Mohananda.
Yes, we've had a wonderful time down here. It's wonderful to see that even though devotees are very far away from the center of, where everything started in Navadvipam, they don't lack any desire. They don't lack any passion. And they certainly feel a lot more energetic about the whole process of chanting Krishna consciousness, chanting Hare Krishna, and being in the Krishna consciousness mood. We went into the city today and we did some Sankirtan, which was most revealing because the people were very receptive. Normally, if you did this in Australia, they yell at you, go and get yourself a job. So it was very good to get some good reception. This week, we've been focusing on some important aspects of the things we learned in the presence of our beloved Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev. And we've been talking about these things in our private time. And we're remembering how much love and affection and tolerance that Srila Gurudev had for all of us at that particular time when he opened his heart. And what a big heart it was. Thousands of people can fit in there. And then still room for some more. He gave us lots of love, lots of affection, even though we did a lot of things that wouldn't be totally acceptable at any time, but he was very forgiving, very, very tolerant. And we learned that. We learned about Gurudev's mood of forgiveness, and how he always gave us opportunity to always do the right thing. And that was a very important lesson for us, and that was a lesson we have to practice in our everyday life. He also showed us, so much of, just gratitude for everything that anyone ever did for him, no matter how small and tiny it might appear to the casual observer. Maharaj would be so embracing of it and make that person feel the most important person there was at that particular time in the whole planet in front of him. And that was a really good lesson that we need to learn to feel grateful for everything we have. We have one another, we have this devotee family. We have no excuse to think that we are alone. There is a devotee somewhere close by who will take your call and listen to whatever you might want to download, share with you your moments of anxiety, you know, something that's triggered you, you know, they'll listen, they'll talk to you, they'll remind you of what Guru Dev said, or what your Shiksha Guru or your Diksha Guru has said to you, and remind you that you're not alone. And that Sri Krishna, our beloved Lord, is always there, protecting us and shielding us and keeping us safely in every which way, known and unknown. So we need to be grateful for that. Yeah, practice that every day for all the little joys we have in our life, whatever little joys we have, and sometimes may not appear much to you, but it's a hell of a lot more than some people behind you. In the line of gratitude, don't look behind. It's a long queue. And the ones ahead of you, you can see them. So you're in a good position if you practice gratitude. And that will give you some restful periods, some peace of mind, so you don't get so disturbed by all the noise and the chattering and the wandering that goes on within your own minds, as we all do. That's why japa is there. Japa is to stop our wandering and stop our chattering. For at least 1 hour, if not 2 hours in a day, you can find a sacred corner, sit down, get the japa out, start chanting. Of course, it starts to wander, but you bring it back to center and you keep chanting and chanting and chanting. And sure enough, you'll get there. If not, you'll fall asleep very nicely too. So do that. And also, you know, be engaged. All of you, if you're alone or close by, get together, get engaged in service, get engaged in doing some things together, cooking, reading. Even get on the phone, talk to somebody. Hey, I want to read this chapter for me. I got something really nice, something really juicy in this chapter. I want to share with you. Tell me what you think about it. You know, do you feel the same electric energy that I feel reading that chapter? And so you're doing some harikatha, sharing something. That'll be good. You know, meet up, chat, talk. Don't feel that you're far away. Come to the Zoom classes that Maharaj is doing constantly all week. There's always a Zoom class somewhere, and you can get connected. And like Maharaj said, we are one big family. And naturally, all happy at different levels, all different levels of happiness. Of course, some more than others. Don't be like me, I'm in the skyrocket. But come for a ride, but don't stay there. It's very demanding. No, just joking, just joking. Come and enjoy. Enjoy the fruitful association of the devotees. Can't get better taste than that. Time spent with these devotees here, I feel so nourished. I feel like a young man again. Maybe it was the prasadam, I don't know, but it's definitely the association. So if you guys got any question you want to ask me or ask your Maharaj, please do so. But there's no 3 questions for free. After that, you have to pay for the time.
I think Tungarasa has a question. She's got a hand up. So maybe Tungarasa, you would like to ask a question to Mohanananda Prabhu.
Maharaj Prabhu.
Mohanananda.
Ask your question.
Oh, Tungarasa. Maybe the hand is by mistake because she's at work. Oh no, Sunday.
Yes. This was certainly by the mistake. I'm on the way. Sorry. Yes, maybe next time.
The electrical hand is working.
There is another lady.
Someone's got a question?
Yes, Ekadashi Subhada has got an actual hand and an electric hand. Didi, happy to have you with us, of course. Please share something or ask the Thoms. You need to open your microphone.
Where are they from, Maharaj?
Siberia.
Dandalats, devotees, Dandalats, Maharaj.
Please.
Thank you.
Please, can I ask on Russian, because on English I can say not correct.
She wants to speak in Russian, the question.
Oh yes, if we choose English language, then we will hear the English at the same time.
Вопрос такой, то что
The question is,
как не
how
принимать
not to take
близко
it
к
close
сердцу
to the heart, everything
все,
that
что
happens.
происходит?
How not to or how to?
Как не принимать, not
How
to.
not, how not to what? No?
How not to take it close to heart, everything that happens. I think this is in reference to this material world, the goings on, the difficulties and challenges of the material world. Well, we want to fill up our heart with the difficulties and challenges of the spiritual world. And then when we can be engaged with our heart, our consciousness, our thought there, then the inevitable challenges of the material world will start to fall into context or perspective. Will start to come into perspective because they are temporary. The pains that we feel in the material world, whether they are physical pains or emotional pains, they are temporary. We don't have whatever pain we were in 100 years ago. We don't have that pain with us just now. Whatever pain we were in, both physically or mentally, psychologically, emotionally. So logic tells us that in this world we know that everything is temporary. But in the spiritual plane, when we are coming into the plane of Sukriti and the plane of Seva, then that is lasting, that is going forward. So if we can fill ourselves with the central interest, and then all of the other interests, even though it may be within our scope of Seva, and we get challenges and so many painful things happen in our life of Seva, but it's going in the right direction, and we will get solace from Krishna and from his devotees. So this way, to keep close to heart our Seva and all the other things that are going on around, it will be kept in perspective that yes, it must happen, but Seva is at the center. These are some initial thoughts from me, and Mohan is a very practical man of this world, family man, and ex-businessman. He retired. He's one of the devotees, few devotees, who said to me, when I'm 65 years old, I'm going to sell my business and retire. And I'm thinking, well, I see Mohan's a very focused businessman. I'm not sure he's going to give up his business so easily. But at 65, he prepared. And at 65 years old, he sold his business and retired. So he's got also some perspective on how to deal with the material world. So Mohan, maybe
Yes, Maharaj, I'm just trying to remember while you were talking so sweetly about the spiritual aspects of it. I'm thinking more what I saw practically with Gurudev.
Mohan, you're only half the please sit here.
No, Maharaj, cannot do that. Sorry, Maharaj.
Oh.
No, I'm good.
You can only see half of it.
When they are not here, I can, Maharaj. Not cultural things. Sorry, Guru Maharaj teaches us a lot of things. You must remember. So, Gurudev, I just tell you what I observe with, and I also see the same thing that takes place even with my beloved brother here. And the truth is that pain will come. You know, the heart is made for love, but it's also made to feel very sensitive. And sometimes, you know, you get a splinter. You get a splinter that sits in there and it's just difficult to remove. Because somebody has done something, you feel betrayed, you feel cheated, you know, you feel resentful, you want to do things and say things, etc. But the heart has the capacity to heal. That's the miracle. And I noticed with Gurudev, so many things that happen, sometimes so many things in one day would happen. And he had the capacity to just digest it, process it, and not reacting. He never reacted. And if reaction was to come, it would be many, many days, sometimes weeks later, and perhaps we shall do this. He was very thoughtful. And sometimes when someone does something, that person, in our material world, we want to chastise or get anger and vengeance with that person. But his thinking would be like, I have to think about this person. They are in a difficult position. That's why they are doing this. That's why they are behaving like that. Maybe they have got some trauma. Maybe something happened for them to trigger like this. Something made them do this. So how, if I were to give them this kind of chastisement, it's not going to help them. And that's not what our teaching is. Our teaching is tolerant, to be humble, and to offer respect, even to those that are so disrespectful. And there's so many stories in the Chaitanya Charitamrita and in actions of Sri Lord Krishna, where instead of taking the revengeful task, they do something much more sweeter. Why did they do that? Why? Because they wanted us to do exactly the same thing. Try and find that deep love in our hearts so we can be forgiving of what has happened to disturb us and make us feel resentful and angry and perhaps even cultivate hate, which we know all of these things is negative. And that brings me to this beautiful story that I used to learn in India about, I do not know, maybe other cultures have the same story, but maybe say different. But in our story, it's the same thing, very simple. You have in your body, there is two wolves, the dark wolf and the light wolf. And they live in your body. And the dark wolf takes you to dark places and brings anger, resentment, paranoia, all of those dark things that you feel takes you. And then the light side, the light wolf brings you about love, sunshine, the positiveness, the good things you can do, the good things that are happening to you, etc. So then you sit down and you wonder, the question is, which wolf wins? Is it the dark wolf or the light wolf that wins? The wolf that wins is the wolf you feed. So if you feed this energy, then that darkness will take over your heart. But if you feed the lightness of being, the sweetness, the joy that you find in that, and how do we find that? We find that in the teachings of our beloved Gurudev, in all of his books, from Revealed Truth right through the others, and you find that in the stories of Nityananda Prabhu. And without his mercy, how could we even be where we are? So when you read those stories, then you see the stories of hope, the stories of sunshine, the stories of goodness, and they're things that can uplift you. And you need to be uplifted so that you can be stronger and help those around you. It gives you an opportunity to do service from a bad situation. You reverse it, make it into a good situation. Another example I give. If you have to collect stool is no good. What is stool good for other than to flush down the toilet? But the same stool, if you put it in the garden with some soil and you mix it, suddenly it becomes compost. So you can make it good. It's all in the thinking. So support that light, that white wolf, support that light, and then whatever may be a sign of darkness for you, something that comes to your heart and pains you, and you got that splinter, it's very hard to pull out because it happened so long ago and you're still carrying it. You're still carrying that resentment, you're still carrying that anger. Unless you take it out, you'll be continuously triggered every time something. You just need to pull that out and let it go. That's the only advice I have for you. It may work for you, but it certainly will work for you because I've seen the outcome for people who've done that. And I've seen that. So I know positively that that's the right solution to the problem, if it exists. And once now, maybe you'll sit down and you'll think about it and then remove that splinter from your heart And who knows? That will make room for your heart to heal itself, and then it starts feeling fullness again. The heart will be beating in full joy. No more splinter. That is my prayer and hope for you. It's my prayer.
And on the theme of perspective, when it's clear to us that nowhere in this world is our home, it is only a foreign land, it's a temporary visiting place, as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati described it. It's as a transit camp. We are here in transit. It's a camp where we put up our tents and everything, and then after a few days we take down the tent. So the things that are happening in this land, which is not our home, then we see there are very unhome-like things which take place. Birth, death, old age, disease. 4 things which are listed again and again in the scripture. And they're listed there, and then we find out in due course of time, oh, there is disease, there is old age, there is death. And then, like it or not, we find out, oh, there is birth. The wise man learns by hearing, second by seeing, third by experience, the third standard of wisdom. But when we see with the perspective that nowhere here is our home, that this place is full of these miseries which are inevitable, then we can take this as an impetus for us, again, to make close to our heart that I'm going to be successful for this journey to leave this world and not to be pulled back into it with any temptations or so many things, unlimited temptations, unlimited things which are calling to say, oh, you will be happy here in this world. Just give this a try, give that a try. We know it's an unhappy place where we're being brought together separate, where we're getting wealth stolen, or it disappears, or so many things take place. We're getting health, and health comes and health goes. We're getting bodies, they come and they go. So it's not our home, but we have a wonderful home, and page after page, chapter after chapter, talk after talk of Gurudev and Guru Maharaj, in particular Gurudev and Guru Maharaj, we will see that emphasis on our home and the sweetness and the beauty, and we have to make our service mood now strong, so we're only thinking about service items and not getting caught up in anything, whether it's very local interest, means our own interest or our family or our village or our country, or as Guru Maharaj says, even the planet. If we come to be invaded from another planet, then the planet will come together to defend the planet. But everywhere here, it is not our home. We need to just see, okay, through all of this, where is the track to my home? And try to stay on there safely. And that track, it is not made of iron, like the ironing. It's made of our consciousness, which can flow everywhere, but needs to go on the rails of Krishna consciousness, like a train. You just put a train out in the field, who knows where it's going to end up? It just go anywhere and everywhere. So we need the guidance. The guidance has been given by Rupa Goswami, by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by Guru Maharaj, by Gurudev. And this way, we guide ourselves out from all these things which trouble our heart, and to all the things which give joy to our heart. Hare Krishna. And this is Gurudev. You know Gurudev. You know Gurudev. You know his heart. Hare Krishna.
No question? Hannah in South Temple?
Okay, I can't see. Some part of the screen is in the light.
Yeah, the same temple.
Okay, yes, Subhadri. Can open your microphone. Ekadashi, you are the electronical engineer, I see.
I would like to ask you, Maharaj, Dandabatsa,
Mohanananda.
by Russian also, because my English not so good, and
Speak in Russian.
Yes, speak in Russian. It is хорошо. We are hearing the question.
Я хотела попросить Махараджа, чтобы он
I want to ask
повторил
you,
историю
Maharaj,
однажды.
to repeat the
Мадхусудан Махарадж
story.
рассказал, как Шрила
Once you
Гурудев
told this story that
однажды
Srila
сидел очень
Gurudev once
спокойный,
was sitting
и
very
я
calmly,
просто очень
quietly.
немножко забыла
I forgot this story,
контекст этой
the
истории,
context.
что Гурудев сказал,
The Gurudev
Мадхусудан
was saying,
Махарадж рассказывал, как Гурудев сказал однажды, что когда у меня была одна проблема, я решал
when I
ее,
had
потом
one
было две
problem,
проблемы, я
I
решал
resolved it.
ее, и
I
снова я
resolved
решал
two
все проблемы, но
problems.
теперь проблем так
I
много,
resolved
что
all
я
problems,
просто
but now I
опускаю
have so
руки, и
many
теперь
problems that
все в
I
руках
put
Гуру
my
Махараджа.
hands down,
Пожалуйста,
and now
Махарадж,
everything is
расскажите
in
снова
the
эту
hands
историю
of
более
Srila Guru
подробно.
Maharaj. Could you please tell more in details this story that we
Yes.
heard from you?
Yes, Subhadidi, you basically have told the story, but it was like so living because it was a time of many challenges. And Gurudev, he's personal, he takes everything as his responsibility to solve. And after Guru Maharaj's disappearance from the world, there were many things that happened from envious people. I mean, really, and all sorts of things took place. And Gurudev, he's trying to solve from government inquiry, from this department, that department. So many things happened. And then, and with the devotees and with threats, all sorts of things. But he's trying to manage. And then another letter comes, another thing from the government comes. And then Gurudev, he's like very stressed, trying to do everything. And then one more thing came. And then next morning when I went to Gurudev, it's true. He was sitting there peacefully for the first time for maybe 1 month. He'd been getting no sleep, worrying about the different problems. And I was there when some of these real problems were happening. And poor Gurudev being subject to nasty, nasty things, one after another. And he was heartbroken and distressed by many things, trying to resolve. And then when these heavy problems were coming from government sides due to envious people making reports, this and that, then Gurudev, finally, he just was trying to do everything. Then when I went to him that morning and he was surprisingly sitting there peaceful, I went up and then Gurudev, he said, oh, last night, I explained everything to Guru Maharaj. And he gave everything to Guru Maharaj and said, Maharaj, I cannot manage this and this and this. I put everything in your hand. But it was the last resort that I can only, now I'm just your dog, I'm your servant. What will be, will be. It's out of my control. I understand it. So this is Gurudev as our charger. He's showing by example, the perfect example of the pure devotees. Full energy, full blood, giving 150% to take the responsibility of seva. But at the final call, then when all blood, everything, all energy, all things exhausted, then coming to Guru Maharaj, not wanting to trouble to Guru Maharaj. So basically saying to Guru Maharaj, this is all coming from your hand, ultimately. I leave it in your hand. And Gurudev was peaceful. And then he just thought, Guru Maharaj must solve these problems. He must do it. He can do it easily. It's his temple, these challenges have come. But it was his own personal matter, if you like, but an example for us all that we have to rely on the will of the Lord, the protection of the Lord. We will try our best, but in the end, then the result is not up to us. And when it's so overwhelming, then there's nothing to do but to give ourselves in full self-surrender. My full energy I've given, what will be will be. And it was so much of a relief for us, for me, to come to Gurudev and see him so peaceful. And then when things came, when all the troubles are coming to him, Gurudev from that moment on was in a different mood. He was sort of watching the flow of craziness going on. And we have seen it, it's so instructive, it's so beautiful. And we must give our full energy. When we know what's expected, when we know what should be, we should try to give our full energy. Many challenges, many things may come. But we will not be lazy. Gurudev did not like lazy. Definitely he did not like lazy. He liked energetic, but energetic in the right direction. Energetic under the proper guidance. Not energetic and foolish. 4 categories of people. Guru Maharaj described, I think all of you read it or heard it, but we've heard it from Gurudev, we've heard it from Guru Maharaj also directly. 4 categories of persons. In general, the lazy but intelligent, the lazy and the stupid, the energetic and intelligent, and the energetic and stupid. So out of all these categories, the lazy but foolish, they can be put to work somehow. They can be given some incentive, or put a bit of fear, put a bit of incentive, some money as the incentive, fear, whatever you want to say behind. But this way, the lazy but foolish, they can be guided, they can be put in some direction. The lazy and intelligent will be put into the position of administrators. They sit in the office, they're getting their chai, somebody in India massaging their legs maybe. They're kind of lazy, but they're intelligent. They can be a strategist. They can guide those who are out in the land. And the energetic and intelligent, they're the best because they've got intelligence and they're energetic. So they will be the practical leaders on the ground, the generals, those who are leading the troops, as it were. But then Guru Maharaj said, but the energetic and foolish, we will keep far away from them because they must do something because they're energetic. But they're foolish, so they must do something wrong all the while. So there's going to be chaos. You put them far away. You give them your enemy.
Send them next door.
But Gurudev liked full energy, and he was the example of full energy. Gurudev was the example of full energy, giving everything. And how much he tolerated, we have seen, you have seen how much he tolerated.
Nice, right?
And then finally comes to this point, Gurudev showing this in his life to us, coming to this point where so much, then finally we like throw up our hands, really, and say, now it's up to you. But his address was to Gurudev, to Guru Maharaj, his Gurudev, out to the Guru Maharaj. Gurudev would say, I don't want to trouble Krishna. He's too busy. Our Krishna is too busy with the gopis to be troubled, for us to trouble him and distract him from that. We will come near to our nearby guardian, but not trouble Krishna. It's also very sweet. Dandavas Rasananda Prabhu, I see your message from an hour ago. Don't know what time. And Marie saying, I must admit, I'm just laziness. Oh, okay, good for you. Good for you. I think the only truly lazy people I have met are the ones who keep insisting that others will be lazy if given the chance, that others will be lazy if given the chance. Most people who are labeled lazy by others seem to me to lack the support and guidance to put their intelligence to use. There you are. So we need inspiration. We need to be put to use. And there's another feature of Srila Gurudev. He saw the potential in everybody. And he engaged people who I really was surprised that some of our devotees who in Navadip didn't kind of blossom, you can say. They weren't the energetic ones in Navadip, rather due to the heat and the circumstances, rather little difficult to get them to do things. And then we find that some of these devotees, they really blossomed in the Western world. And I mean, really, I can say to mind, but why I will say names, but we've got devotees who really didn't do very much in Navadip, externally at least. But then when they came to the West, they did and are doing seva now for decades with so much energy. But that is what Gurudev saw in them and knew how to fan the embers of that fire and to give impetus. So somebody may not show much energy in one environment, but in their suitable environment, then they'll be energetic. So Gurudev was also expert, and we've heard that Srila Prabhupada, he was very expert at engaging the devotees, but whatever was their propensity, he would give them inspiration. And give them inspiration in the context that he's giving instruction for them to do something, and they take that instruction again. Srila Prabhupada said, I will do this, so it must be done. I'm just an instrument. So in this way, the motivation of the devotees, motivation of devotees is different than motivation of materialists, because the motivation of a worker in a factory is money, promotion, prestige, you have people working under you, things like that. But the motivation for devotees is different. It's not for wealth and prestige, numbers of people who work under you. It's for your inspiring the contribution from you, your particular strength in devotional service. Yes, but Marie, very good. Everybody is actually active by nature. Really, it's just the fight. We hear the fight, and I sometimes consciously am aware when there's a description, the fight between the three modes of material nature. Sometimes Tamagun is winning, sometimes Rajagun is winning, sometimes Sattvagun is winning. And of course, in their combination. So it is not even necessarily that somebody we think is very rajasic, very energetic to do things. Maybe they also have their times when the Tamagun is a little bit stronger and catching. So everywhere we need to be conscious that we are not even that person who we think we are, material body, the material mind. But it's our heart we want to come and give our heart to Guru, Vaishnava, to Krishna, to Gauranga, and try to fit into their plan and program. They will reveal to us like who we are really. We're not this person, that person, this nationality, that nationality. We are a devotee of the Lord by automatic affectionate dealing. Not artificial. At first we think, oh, it's artificial to do devotional activities because it's been so different. Are we going to offer to Krishna? Not for me. I didn't cook for me, I cooked for Krishna. Yes. So we have to teach ourselves the mechanics of it, and then hopefully gradually the heart part of it will become more prominent than the mechanics. And then one day, by the grace of Guru and Gauranga, we might just realize, oh, this is really my automatic position, to be a devotee. I do like Bhakti Lalita's expression. He says, actually, we are the majority. Devotees are the majority. but we are in a minority land. And that's where visiting somewhere like Jaipur, you got hundreds and thousands of people coming for the darshan of the day automatically. That's where that wakes us up. That to wear tilak and a dhoti and go to the temple early in the morning. It's not craziness. That's the standard. That's the majority. And that's the majority in one place, or even on earth. But in our destination, the Gurudev and Guru Maharaj are showing us, it's everybody. No one's there for their own this, that, or the other. They're all there for Krishna. They're all there for devotion. So not only the majority, it's the 100% majority. Whereas we're in a world which is 99.998469632 the other way around. And we are the, subtract that from 100, then we are that 0 point something percent. In the Western world, at least, in India, hopefully, it might strike into the full digits. Within the Western world, we are a low percentage. But we are actually the majority that living in a minority region, which again reminds us it's not our home. Our home is with the majority. And we have to go on. Life means we are proceeding. We can't stop. When we find out how troublesome the world is, Guru Maharaj points out again and again, the tendency for many then is to just try to find some meditation where I don't have to do anything but just float. I can just float away and leave all the trouble behind. Because we see that the world is troublesome. We feel it is troublesome. We understand it's troublesome. Then when everything we do is causing more trouble, we're digging ourselves into more trouble, then that tendency comes. I'm disgusted with the world. And then we want to meditate it away, leave. But then you see Guru Maharaj pointing out clearly, that is also wrong. It is like going on strike. Krishna has given us energy. He's given us capacity. He's given us willing, feeling, and thinking. He's given us a capacity to love, to have attraction, to have a beautiful life. And we want to throw that away and just drift. So going on strike and is bad. Exploitation is bad. Dedication to the central theme is good. So let our hearts come to the central theme and try to stay there by sadhana, by doing the practices that Gurudev gave in the man, and by following. Sorry to repeat it again and again. I'm not sorry to repeat it again. Upadeshamrit Rupa Goswami is so clear and straightforward. And then when we can just try to live by that, our everyday standard, then we're definitely heading in the right direction. 11 verses, the first 8 verses are really the instructions for us, how to behave, what is the goal. So inspirational. Only 8 verses to become familiar. Hare Krishna, nectar of instruction, Srila Prabhupada. You know it. And we have in English, we have a very thick book. But yet it's only 11 verses. But there is so much to be said about those 11 verses. So much to help us to lead our life. Okay, this is the Latvian Zoom. And our Latvian devotees are all right next door, and they're all having a good time. So we are very happy for that, and we're very happy to have you all with us from every country but Latvia on the Zoom today, and that's not a problem because you've joined us in Latvia. I'm always saying when we are on the other side of the camera, we all say we are actually sitting in your living room. We are there with you in Latvia. So yeah, that's us.
Oh.
So,
No, here's another.
oh, he has got. Okay, so
Thanks.
so, but this time we are sitting with you, sitting with us in Latvia. So we are very happy. From every nationality of the world, you come to join me. And for you who are in Russia, we are just next door, just a 15-minute drive down the road. But I think it'll be a problem to cross the border, unfortunately. It's very near here from where we are. All right, well, I was going to ask others to say something, but actually our time is up, and the devotees are keeping us, or keeping me engaged with lots of activities. So, yes, but you don't have to keep something. But we are here to do various duties, and so the duties continuing just now, and then the evening program with all of the devotees, and we're very happy to be got you in the living room here with us today, each one of you. So a last word from Mohan before we go.
Thank you for your time. I don't know when I'll next see you guys on Zoom. It's not something I do, but occasionally I will when I've got smart young people around to use the technology, then I do. Otherwise, lots of purple love and affection to all of you. And I hope that you will come to Thailand for the festival that we are having there. Maharaj will be there, and I will be bringing the purple love tour to Thailand. Come, all you have to do is turn up and wear something purple. No, that's a
Don't
joke.
wear something.
That's a joke. That's a joke. Just turn up. Just come along and have some fun.
Bring your hearts and follow the program in association of like-minded.
You'll have a good time. That's a promise.
First 2 weeks of counting. I need to look on the calendar. I don't know off the top of my head. First 2 weeks.
October 16th, I think, you start.
His Govardhan cruise is on November 2nd.
Please come to Thailand. Wonderful place. You meet a lot of lovely devotees, and you'll have good Hari Katha, Hari Prasad, and you will have Hari Kirtan. All three. You try to make it. Lots of love.
Jai Shri Gurudev, Shri Bhakti Sundar Swami Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Shri Guru Maharaj, Jai Swami Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Bhagavan Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai, Jai Guru Guru Bhag ki Jai, Shri Shat Goswami, 6 Goswamis ki Jai, A.C. Bhakti Swami Prabhupada ki Jai, all the present day acharyas representing Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Brinda ki Jai. And by the way, the invitation is in the chat box.
Yeah.
Priyananda just put it there, but I can't see what the dates are. But there you can see the invitation in the chat box for Thailand. And do let Paramananda know at that email address if you can't come, because we can look after you much better when we know who's coming and how many of them. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Dandavat to each of you, very happy to have us. Nitai Gaur, Premanandi.
Dandavat to Bhaktiranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki Jai. Priyananda Devi.
Simultaneous translation of this one.
Champion.